Houston, yes, clear. Loud and clear. Pacific. 4423 live, we'll get the mobile
As of August 2024, Israel remains deeply engaged in complex and ongoing conflicts, primarily involving its relations with Palestinian groups and broader regional dynamics. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict remains one of the most persistent and contentious issues in the region. Recent months have seen periodic escalations in violence between Israel and various Palestinian factions, including Hamas in Gaza and the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank. Periodic rocket attacks from Hamas and other militant groups in Gaza have led to Israeli airstrikes and military operations. The situation in Gaza is dire, with significant humanitarian issues exacerbated by the ongoing blockade and recurrent conflict. Tensions in the West Bank are also high, with frequent clashes between Israeli security forces and Palestinian protesters. Israel's settlement expansion in the West Bank is controversial, with many international critics saying it breaks international law. Peace negotiations have stalled for years, with various international initiatives attempting to revive talks without significant progress. The US and other international bodies continue to call for a two-state solution, but achieving a lasting resolution remains elusive. In terms of regional relations, Israel's primary concern is Iran, which is viewed as a significant threat due to its regional ambitions and support for militant groups antagonistic to Israel. This includes Hezbollah in Lebanon and various factions within the Palestinian territories. The high tension surrounding Iran's nuclear program and its involvement in regional conflicts continues to exacerbate Israeli security concerns. Hezbollah is a Shiite Islamist political and militant group based in Lebanon. Founded in the early 1980s with the help of Iran, it emerged during the Lebanese Civil War and was initially created to resist Israeli occupation of southern Lebanon. Over the years, Hezbollah has evolved into a significant political and military force in Lebanon. The group regularly engages in clashes with Israel, contributing to a highly tense and unstable situation along the Israel-Lebanon border. Frequent skirmishes and displays of military strength by both sides further contribute to the region's volatility and unpredictability. In recent weeks, there has been a notable increase in rocket attacks from Gaza targeting southern Israeli cities, such as Sderot and Ashkelon. These rockets have caused significant disruption in these areas, impacting daily life and infrastructure. The attacks have led to injuries and damage to residential and commercial properties. The escalation in rocket fire is part of a broader pattern of increased hostility in the region, with these assaults often occurring in response to other developments or as part of ongoing tensions between Gaza-based militant groups and Israel. In response to the rocket fire from Gaza, the Israeli Defense Forces have executed a series of airstrikes aimed at facilities associated with Hamas and Islamic Jihad. These strikes are intended to reduce the capacity of these militant groups to launch further attacks and to dismantle their operational infrastructure. However, the airstrikes have also led to collateral damage, affecting civilian areas and causing casualties among non-combatants, such as homes and medical facilities, has compounded the humanitarian crisis in the region. Israeli cities have seen a series of violent incidents, including stabbings and shootings, carried out by individuals with alleged connections to militant organizations or personal grievances. These attacks have targeted both civilians and security personnel, contributing to heightened security concerns and increased tensions within Israeli society. The nature of these attacks, often random and unpredictable, adds to the pervasive sense of insecurity and fear among the civilian population. The Gaza-Israel border remains a highly volatile area, characterized by frequent clashes between Israeli forces and Palestinian protesters. These confrontations often involve the use of live ammunition, leading to fatalities and injuries on both sides. The border clashes are indicative of deep-seated animosities and the high level of tension in the region. They reflect the ongoing struggle over territorial disputes and political grievances, with both sides suffering from the consequences of these violent encounters. In the West Bank, there have been reports of violence involving Israeli settlers targeting Palestinian communities. These attacks have included property damage, such as the destruction of homes and agricultural land, as well as physical assaults on Palestinian residents. The violence perpetrated by settlers has intensified the conflict, prompting retaliatory actions from Palestinians and further complicating the already fraught situation in the West Bank. This cycle of violence between settlers and Palestinian residents exacerbates the broader conflict and undermines efforts to achieve stability in the region. The recent escalation in attacks has had severe humanitarian implications. In Gaza, the ongoing violence and airstrikes have led to significant damage to infrastructure, including homes, schools, and hospitals. This destruction exacerbates the humanitarian crisis, with many residents facing shortages of essential services and supplies. In Israeli areas affected by rocket attacks, the psychological and physical impact on civilians is substantial, contributing to a heightened sense of vulnerability and distress. The worsening conditions in both Gaza and Israel call for urgent humanitarian assistance and intervention to address the needs of affected populations and mitigate the impact of the conflict. The recent surge in violence in the Israel-Palestine conflict underscores the enduring instability and complexity of the situation. This escalation worsens the humanitarian crisis and hampers peace efforts, with civilians suffering the most from the ongoing strife. War affects everyone involved, leaving a deep and lasting impact on communities. War is a path no one willingly chooses. It arises from failures to communicate, misunderstandings, and the inability to resolve conflicts peacefully. In the end, it is not war that we desire, but the tranquility and harmony that come from mutual respect and cooperation. True progress and prosperity lie not in the battlefields, but in our collective efforts to build bridges, foster dialogue, and seek common ground. Peace is not merely the absence of conflict, but the presence of justice, compassion, and understanding. Through Jesus, we can achieve the peace we all hope for, as his teachings guide us towards a world of reconciliation and love.